It's Robert A. Somrak, Fire Controlman, 2nd Class, USS Missouri. Then, during the Iwo Jima and Okinawa campaign, we had to contend with lots of kamikazes. One of the kamikazes crashed into our ship. I can tell you, on that morning when we were under a lot of kamikaze attacks, I was in the mess hall at about 5:30, quarter to 6 in the morning, and I was trying to finish my meal, and they sounded general quarters, and I'm trying to eat my food real fast. You have to run real fast through all the compartments to get to your battle station before damage control, because they have to close all the hatches to preserve the ship in case of we're hit, you know, for watertight control. So I would run all the way to my gun turret 3, and you entered gun turret 3 from below. You'd get in there, you'd secure the hatch, and you'd immediately set all. If we were going to fire the 16 inches, of course I had all the controls that I have to regulate or set up. Well, first of all, I was in gun turret 3. We were in general quarters, so gun turret 3 is not assigned to firing at airplanes. They use 5 inches and 40 millimeters and 20 millimeters. When we were in gun turret 3, my buddies and I, we were playing cards over a generator. We heard the 5 inches go off, boom, 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 and then we heard the 40 millimeters go boom, boom, boom. Still playing cards. But when we heard the 20 millimeter, then kind of paused. Said, "Uh-oh, pretty close." Well, when the plane crashed into our ship, I'm behind 8 inches of solid steel. I didn't even hear it crash. The machine gun from the kamikaze crashed right into a 40 millimeter gun barrel, and nobody on that gun mount was injured. When general quarters was over, I saw the wreckage, because it was right by gun turret 3. I saw the wreckage of the plane. The Japanese pilot was decapitated. There were parts of him, you know, which were gathered by the staff that's responsible for that. The parts of the plane that crashed on their ship, I tore out a piece of the aluminum from the wing, and I made a nice letter opener and like a dagger, so I have that as a souvenir. Our skipper, Captain Callahan, great gentleman, actually gave the Japanese pilot a hero's funeral. In spite of all the negativity from other officers telling him not to do it, he wrapped him in the remains in a Japanese flag, and he was tossed overside with a Marine volley, given a final salute as as a hero for his country. During that campaign, general quarters, I remember one day when we had general quarters at 5:30 in the morning, and I was running to my gun turret 3, where you have to go up into the turret. About that time, a 500-pound bomb dropped the stern of our ship, and it kind of lifted up, and my friend sort of got thrown up into the turret. And I looked off to the starboard quarter, and I saw the Franklin carrier get hit. They had 1,100 casualties at that time, because it was so early in the morning, they had all their planes and aircraft fuel and bombs and everything. It was a terrible thing, but we were very lucky on the Missouri. You know, I think one of our sailors got a 20 millimeter shell in his stomach, and the surgeons were able to remove it in the hospital area. From there, we wound up, of course, we were firing over the Marines' heads in Okinawa to knock out pillboxes. Our guns were very accurate. Then we were off the shores of Japan, where we first went in firing at nighttime. Everybody was expecting to get the whole fleet of Japanese coming after us, but they didn't. So we were then firing on the shores of Japan in the daytime. And on another occasion, I was on my secondary watch, where I was holding a fire control radar control that controls quad 40 guns. And I can remember one night we got a signal that there was a bogey, which is a jet plane out there, and search radar found this plane way out somewhere. And when it came into my sector, I had to visually look on the radar site and pinpoint that it was a Zeke plane that was coming after us. And I was waiting anxiously for the signal. I had the 40 millimeters already under control, waiting for the signal to pull the trigger. Unfortunately, it sounded general quarters and I had to leave my ship. Somebody else had to take care of the Zeke jet plane. But, you know, when you're a youngster, 18, 19, 20 years old, nothing bothers you, you know. You're going to live forever, you know. Anyhow, finally, oh, in the meantime, I had wanted to fly one of those fighter planes that I saw coming off the carriers. So I applied for an ABV-5, passed all the tests, and I got orders to get picked up by a destroyer, taken to Guam and flown to Frisco for flight training. I was there on the deck of the Missouri with my sea bag packed, waiting for this great event. A yeoman came to me and says, "Bob, forget about it. We just got an all-nav from Impact, canceling all V5s. They dropped the atomic bomb. We don't need pilots anymore." So there went my glorious